What you say that suspension is?
10.
It's a 10? Officially a 10. You don't give a whole lot of suspensions a 10.
Yeah.
What's up, y'all? So we received what might be the best moped style e-bike as of 2025. I say that because this e-bike has 4-point suspension in the back of the bike. What did you think of the first 4-point suspension bike that we used?
Best suspension.
Best suspension?
Suspension.
Okay. I think 4-point suspension really does improve your bike ride, especially if you're going off-road. That bike was a HiKeep e-bike, that first 4-point suspension one. This is also a HiKeep e-bike. This is the MAT HiKeep. Again, it has the 4-point suspension. It also has like a motorcycle style front fork. You have a couple of battery options. You can get a 48 volt 15.6 amp hour battery or a 48 volt 25 amp hour battery. I think it has two 750 watt motors. I think it has one in the back and one in the front, but we're going to find out. Both of those motors have a peak of like 1500 watts. This bike weighs 119 pounds. Maximum weight of the rider is 330 pounds. I think it's advertised to go over 30 miles per hour. We're going to test out the maximum speed. To purchase this e-bike, feel free to use my link and my code in the description below to get a discount. I am still doing an e-bike giveaway. When I get to 40,000 subscribers, I'll be giving away an e-bike. You want to be included in that giveaway, you have to subscribe to the channel. Comment below on what type of e-bike you want. You want like a moped style e-bike like this one? Or do you want like a folding bike? You know what I mean? He almost killed this guy. Right. So this is what the bike looks like fresh out the box. I would say it was wrapped pretty well. Better than most for sure. So we got this bike unwrapped. Doesn't look like anything was damaged, but it was packaged pretty well though. So looks like we're gonna have to put our handlebar on, which is already attached via wires. We're gonna have to put our front fender on here. We have some turning signals. I'm assuming that's what these two things are here that we're gonna put, I'm assuming, in the front of the bike somewhere. We're gonna have to put our front wheel on, which has a 20x4 all-terrain tire on it. Don't see the brand of the tire, unfortunately, but seems just a little slick than I normally like. This bike also came with a box, so let's see what's in the box. Like we have our pedals, which are labeled. A nice array of tools. Look like it has some wrenches that I can actually use. A user manual, so let's look into that real quick. Instructions seem pretty clear. I really like this blue background that they included with the pictures.
And we have
the OnlyFans headlight again.
The OnlyFans headlight.
Yeah, we got a heavy duty bike pump. So we're gonna call that a beauty light. We have our bike charger to charge our 48 volt battery. So the first thing we're gonna do is put our front wheel on.
This has to face downwards. This right here. Make sure that's
facing at the bottom of the washer.
Look at the bottom face downwards.
It looks like he's going to need 2 wrenches in order to tighten up the nuts on the side of the wheel here. Make sure you look at the arrow when you are connecting your front motor. We don't see like a designated area for you to put your zip tie, so we're just going to put it around the front fork as tight as we can, this front motor cord, and make sure that it's not rubbing up against the wheel at all. There's a screw in here, so we take that off. We're going to tighten up that screw, and then there's 2 screws on the side here that we're going to have to tighten up after we make sure our alignment is good. So we got the bike put together. Only took us about, I would say about 35 minutes. This is a pretty compact moped style e-bike. From wheel to wheel, it's about 5 feet 4 inches long. The handlebar, which is not really adjustable, you can adjust it maybe the angle just a little bit. But where we have it now is like 3 feet 6 inches from the floor. And the seat, which kind of goes up. You see that? It kind of goes up. I don't know if I like that so far, but the seat is 2 feet 9 inches from the floor. Now, I do think this is a pretty standard looking moped style e-bike, outside of the suspension, of course. But I think it's a decent looking e-bike. Definitely more on the, I would say, urban commute side because of the size. But let me know what y'all think. Look at that suspension. And again, HiKeep is the only e-bike that I reviewed that has this 4-point suspension. Now on the last HiKeep that had this 4-point suspension, everybody loved it, on-road and off-road. Give y'all a look at this rear suspension. Now we also have a motorcycle style front fork suspension, but it doesn't look like we can adjust the compression of that suspension. Give y'all a look at this front suspension. Get a look at our rear and front 180 millimeter Coreo hydraulic brakes. It does look like we're gonna need another kickstand. This bike is leaning a little too much here, so. Have a look at our seat, which seems pretty comfortable. This seat is also pretty long. It's about 1 feet 10.5 inches long. It's about 6 inches wide. So nice wide handlebar, especially for a moped style e-bike. Is about 2 feet 4 inches wide. We have the more hard rubbery standard handlebar grips. We have 7 gears for pedaling. So this bike did come with 2 sets of keys. One of those keys here you can use to take your pretty standard battery out. Just put the key here, then you can lift your battery out. On the other side of the battery, you can charge it while it's on the bike if you want to, but you do have to turn your battery on. Just notice under your display you do have a USB charger that you can use to charge your phone. We have a second set of keys for your starter. So this key stays on the bike while you're riding it, and you have to turn it in order to turn this e-bike on. So you have some level of anti-theft on this bike. So now that we have the key in, we have it turned, I'm gonna go ahead and turn my bike on. I'm gonna press and hold the power button, and that turns my display on. We do have some buttons over here on your panel. Look like that is our horn. If I click that button, that turns my, I guess, beauty style headlight on, and my rear light on. And that rear light is also a brake light. If I click this button, that turns my turning signal on the front of the bike, as well as in the back of the bike. Click it again to turn that off. Looks like we have a twist throttle for throttle only. Now changing the motors on this bike is pretty easy. You see it's always blinking how many motors am I currently using. Right now I'm using just the motor in the rear. If I want to change it to the front motor, I simply click this button here. That's this RF button. I click it, and now I'm using both motors. If I click it again, I just use my rear motor, so it doesn't look like you can only use the front motor. If I click the I button over here on my panel, I will get more information on my display. I'm gonna click the I button. Look like that gives me my trip mileage. I think that resets every time you turn the bike on. Maximum miles per hour, average miles per hour. Now let's look at some of the basic items on the display. Look like we have our battery life at the top. We did charge the e-bike. We have our miles per hour calculator. Pretty sure you can change that from miles per hour to kilometers if you want to. Our pedal assist modes, and if you want to change your pedal assist mode, you click the plus or the minus button over here. So look like we have 5 different pedal assist modes. So before I go into my advanced settings, I'm going to show y'all how to unlock the maximum speed of this bike. So we're going to turn this bike off. We're going to turn the key to off. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to engage my throttle fully, and I'm going to press down on the brake. Okay. So I have my brake pressed down. I have the throttle fully engaged. I'm going to turn the key. Okay. Then I'm going to turn the bike on. I don't have to keep my hand on the power button after I turn it on, but I do have to keep this throttle engaged. I have to keep this brake on for like 20 to 25 seconds. And I have to keep it like that for that long. And then when that 20-25 seconds is over, you should be able to go max speed on this bike. I first want to show y'all what type of side wheel display that we have on this bike. So to go into the advanced settings on this bike, we're going to press and hold the plus and the minus button. And we have like over 8 advanced settings on this bike. I'm not going to go through all of them, but I will go through some of them. To go from one setting to the next, you're going to click the plus or the minus button. If you want to change your setting, then you're going to quickly click the power button, and then you can change that setting. P00 is our factory reset. We're not going to reset the bike right now. P01 is how bright do I want my display, so I'm going to click the power button there. Trying to make the display as bright as we can. P02 is how do I want to measure my speed. And I'll click the power button. Look like we can do miles per hour or kilometers. We're going to keep it at miles per hour. P04 is my auto off time. So how many minutes will this bike remain idle before it turns off on its own? So I'm going to change that from 10 minutes to 15 minutes. I believe P08 is my limit speed, but again, I unlock the speed manually. But it looks like you have some options here. I'm not sure if that's kilometers or what, but we're just going to set that to 100 and keep it moving. P08, but P08 is not in my display, but I'm just assuming that that's the pedal assist limits. I'm just assuming that that is my limit speed because that's what P08 usually is on these e-bikes. P11 is my pedal assist sensitivity. And I think every e-bike should have this feature to adjust your sensitivity because, you know, you might use this bike for different purposes. You might want to not have a whole lot of sensitivity to get a workout in. You might want a lot of sensitivity in order to go to work on your e-bike, and you don't want to be all sweaty when you get to work, right? So usually the lower you go, the more sensitivity you get. That's usually the case, but we're going to leave it at 2 because that's what it is fresh out the box. P12 is my start intensity. So you have both pedal assist and start intensity. That's good. That's really good. On here, the higher you go, the more intense it's going to get. Again, we're going to leave it to 3. P17 is whether you want to use cruise control. So that's a yes or a no. That's all I'm going to go through regarding the advanced settings. I'll leave a link in the description below.
Oh, you like that suspension? What'd you give it?
So, HiKeep, MAT, what are your thoughts?
Unlock the thingy.
Unlock the speed?
Yes.
Yeah, I know we didn't unlock the speed because we're on the trail. But you can feel how fast it could go, right?
Yeah, like it's definitely got power. Dual motor, it's just like pop. It goes. Moped bike handles the curves really well. I love the big, colorful display. The best thing about this bike is the suspension. Suspension is crazy.
Suspension is crazy, huh? You like that on the last HiKeep, huh?
Crazy. Yeah. Is that y'all HiKeep that do the suspension?
Yeah, they do the 4-point suspension. You like it?
All of the hills and bumps and twists and turns that we did and holes and pockets. Like I done ran into some mud.
Right.
Suspension is A-okay. I think overall, like, this is a very sturdy bike. I feel like it's very well made.
Okay. So what you get this bike on a scale from 1 to 10?
I'm gonna go and do this a 9.
A 9. Okay.
Hey, you like that dual motor though, huh?
Yeah, that thing.
Fast.
All right, this HiKeep right here, man. I think they will be known for the best suspension of e-bikes.
Oh, really?
This is the second one right here, and I'm telling you, man, suspension is dope. This bike has got 2 things that are probably the best about it. This is the best hill climbing bike I ever been on. Even in one motor, it was eating up the hill. Warning: if it's in dual motor mode, don't ever pedal into a turn.
Oh, what happened?
You're gonna lose control.
Really?
You're not gonna be able to like.
Because it takes off too quick in a turn?
It takes off like mad quick. This OnlyFans light is the best headlight I ever.
It's bright.
It's bright. Yeah, man.
So what you giving this bike on a scale from 1 to 10?
I mean, it's a moped, and you know I'm like 5'11".
Bruh.
You're not 5'11".
I give this bike right here 8 out of 10.
An 8 out of 10. Right? And I know you're kind of a critic, so.
Now gonna test out these all-terrain tires. Let's see just how much grip is on them. I guess test out the durability too. We're gonna go through some gravel here. All right, a little slipping. slipping, but not too bad. Let's brake. Actually not bad. All right, better than I thought it was. So these tires are definitely grippy enough for you to lean into your turns. That with a moped style e-bike, which means you're lower to the floor and a wide handlebar, means you can lean pretty comfortably without feeling like you're gonna fall, and while still having a lot of control of your bike. Now I like leaning just because I feel like it gives you more control in your turn, but lean at your own leisure. So we're not gonna try out this 4-point suspension, shall we? And I guess also in the suspension in the front, gonna go off-road with some hills and pretty grassy, unkept terrain here. So far, so good. My goodness. Hey, HiKeep, they might be onto something with this 4-point suspension stuff, but let's keep going. Goodness. Keep going here. Oh, wow. All right. Go around a little bit. Man, oh. Good suspension, but it just rained. The tires was kind of iffy in the rain there. But talking about the suspension in the back is definitely a whole lot better than the suspension in the front, and it kind of makes up for it, to be honest. I don't really feel a whole lot of shaking, not a whole lot of bumping here. Really good suspension, mainly because of the suspension in the back. This is really, really smooth here. So yeah, the suspension in the back takes the brunt of almost everything. So on the scale from 1 to 10, man, I'll say 9.5. So again, I didn't adjust any of the pedal assist sensitivity or the takeoff speed. And so with that being said, I would say that mode 1 and 2, fresh out the box, give you the perfect amount of pedal assist. I feel like my pedal is still being considered. I don't feel like I can ghost pedal. So mode 1 and mode 2, good pedal assist sensitivity. But, and we're gonna break here, this is why I think this is a cadence sensor and not a torque sensor, because in mode 3, it does not take into account how hard I pedal. It just know that it's a turn going on, and so it's trying to get you to the max speed regardless of how hard I'm pedaling. So that's what makes me think this is the cadence sensor. I'm gonna show y'all here. I'm in mode 3, single motor. Go ahead and so the takeoff speed isn't super fast, which is good, but like as soon as I get to 20, I feel like I can ghost pedal a little bit. It's not super bad though. Like I feel like I can still catch up with the motor, which is good. But there's a little too much sensitivity from me in mode 3. But let's go ahead and brake here. Good brakes. A little squeaky, just a little bit, but decent brakes. Now I'm 5'11", 6 feet with shoes on. Normally I cannot use an e-bike that's a moped style e-bike that this short, because my knees are coming way too high when I pedal. You know what I mean? But the good thing about this bike is I can scoot back quite a bit, and then my knees are not coming as high. So I could probably do this if I could also rotate the handlebar to be closer to me. But because I can't rotate the handlebar, and although the seat being up like this, it does make me have some distance from the pedal, which means my knees don't come up as high, but it also forces me to like lean forward, you know what I mean? Because the seat is on like a incline like that. So I guess you pick your poison with that. But now this seat, I think is not the most comfortable moped seat that I've had, but it's not the least comfortable either. It's like right in between. Again, what I don't like though is the incline. But outside of that, I mean, this bike is pretty comfortable, not very shaky, very smooth. I feel like I might, no, I don't know, so I don't feel so comfortable where I can go without my hands on the handlebar, but it's really comfortable though for a moped style e-bike. So we're not gonna go max speed, pedal assist, single motor, and I have to go to gear. I can only go gear 6. I'm gonna explain why here in a minute. Single motor, It's hard to keep up with the motor in mode 5, single motor, but 27, 28. All right, we're gonna say 28 miles per hour. So part of the reason why I was ghost pedaling single motor max speed pedal assist, because I cannot go to gear 7. Whenever I go to gear 7, my chain falls off. So that either means I need more lube on my chain or the chain is a little too large. Both of those are things that you can handle yourself, but I would say make sure you take this bike to your nearest bike shop when you get it. Make sure the chain is good. Make sure everything is lubed up correctly. And it's because it's just way too much pedal assist fresh out the box, in my opinion. So we're not gonna go max speed pedal assist, dual motor. Again, I have to go gear 6, so I'm gonna be ghost pedaling quite a bit here. Good, yeah. Takes off right away like a rocket. All right, 26. Again, I have to ghost pedal. If I go a little faster there, 28. All right, looks like it's capping me out at 28. On pedal assist. All right, looks like there's a hard stop at 28 miles per hour max speed pedal assist, but again, I am in gear 6. I probably could have went faster if I had gear 7 and maybe I can pull the motor a little bit. So it looks like max speed, throttle only, single motor takes us up to 28, 29 miles per hour max speed, throttle only. So we're not gonna try max speed, throttle only, dual motor. See how fast we go here? Oh, I'm in mode 3. Let's switch to mode 5. Let's gun that thing. Goodness. Takes off a lot quicker. 29, 30. Back to 29, 30. All right. Looks like max speed, 30 miles per hour, and I got there pretty quickly. And dual motor, throttle only. Now I will say, this is the type of bike that I would use in the streets. Let me switch back to single motor. Not encouraging you to take your e-bike in the streets, but if you did want a bike to maybe take to work and stuff, I think this would be a great bike for that, because it has some size to it. It's pretty comfortable. Nice wide seat. You got all the bells and whistles you need for the streets, headlight, rear light, turn signals, a horn, all that cool stuff. And it's pretty stable. Like, I don't feel like the wind is swaying me right or left. So I think this will be a great e-bike for the streets if that's what you want to use it for. I also think this is a great bike for more urban areas. And I'm saying that because of the size. Like, it's only 5 feet 4 inches. And it's easy to maneuver. This front fork is not super heavy, even though it is a motorcycle style front fork. So because it's not super heavy, you can make some pretty sharp turns like this one. You can go through some pretty narrow walkways. I think you could avoid people and things pretty easily on this e-bike. And I think e-bikes like this, that's what they mainly use them for. I think people use them to like go through more urban areas where you may have to avoid things. You may have to make like some really tight, sharp turns. You know, maybe have to do some laning to avoid people, but yeah, I think this is a great bike for an urban area. So we're not gonna try max speed, dual motor, throttle only, up a hill. This is a pretty steep hill. I said like a 35-degree hill, and the hill has a turn. See how much speed we lose going up this hill? Going into the hill, looks like I'm at 29 miles per hour. Trying to gauge it a little bit because both of the wheels are turning at the same time, but with the motor. 29. Into the steepest part of the hill now. 28. 27. 26. Wow! I I think that might be a record. I only lost like 3 miles per hour going up that hill.
HiKeep MAT, definitely a decent e-bike for the price. What I like the most about this e-bike is the suspension, mainly because of the 4-point suspension in the back. I'll say that makes this like top 3 best suspensions I've had on a moped style e-bike. What surprised me the most about this bike is the battery life. I have the 15 amp hour version. I went on a 15-mile bike ride. I spent 3 of those miles going max speed, pedal assist, single motor. I spent another mile going max speed, pedal assist, dual motor. Another mile going max speed, throttle only, single motor. And then another mile going max speed, throttle only, dual motor. The rest of the time I was on single motor, going in between mode 1 and 3, pedal assist. In that 15 miles, I lost like 25% of my battery. So that's like 60 miles of charge based on my bike ride. I love all the bells and whistles, headlight, rear light, turn signals, the horn. You have over 8 advanced settings that you can use to change things like your pedal assist sensitivity and your takeoff speed. Not really much I don't like about this e-bike. But all in all, a decent e-bike. On a scale from 1 to 10, I'll give this e-bike a 9. Comment below on what you'll give this e-bike on a scale from 1 to 10. Any other e-bike you want me to review, also comment below. Thank y'all for watching. Peace.